Hi everyone, it's Cait, and in today's video we're going to be doing a mid-month check-in for August, and I'm going to show you how I use the online software YNAB to track our monthly expenses. So my husband just took our older daughter swimming, and the baby is downstairs being quiet in her pack and play. So I thought I would use this quiet time in the house to film a video, and since it is the 13th, I thought that it would make the most sense to do a mid-month check-in. And in order to do that, I'm going to share my screen with you guys and show you how we use You Need a Budget, also known as YNAB, to track all of our transactions and our spending and in what categories throughout the month. Okay, so before we jump on the computer, I'm going to take a look at our budgeting planner and see kind of what has been going on so far and what is coming up, so I know what we need to plan ahead for when we're in YNAB. I have not actually been back in this planner to update what bills have been paid so far, so we're going to do that. If you watched my August budget video, you'll know that the bills here in blue are expenses related to my husband's business, so we're not going to be paying attention to those. We're just going to be looking at the ones that are in yellow because those are our household bills. So our Discover payment already came out, that's great. Geico, our car insurance came out, and trash came out as well. Now over here for Spectrum, which is our internet, that came out. And by the way, I forgot to actually budget for our internet in my August budget, so that was an oops, but you live and learn. That's I knew that this month was going to be rough because it was my first month back into it, so I kind of expected that. Meadowbrook, that is, we get milk delivered, and so I write a check for them every month. So the check is written, but they haven't deposited it yet. So I'm just going to put one line here, and I'll come back once it has actually come out of our bank account, and then I can cross that out fully. Adobe is a subscription that I use for my business, so I'm going to mark that because that did come out. Home Depot was a card payment that was due yesterday. Actually, there was a zero amount due because I had made some payments at the end of July, so nothing was actually due. So I didn't make a payment on that just yet. I'll probably make one towards the end of the month. Basically like one lump sum that is everything that we have left over from our monthly budget. So I'm going to mark that because technically the payment was made. And then Navy Federal was our larger credit card, and that one did get paid as well. So today is the 13th, but our mortgage hasn't come out yet, so I'm not going to mark that, but now I know that we need to make sure that there is money in the account for the mortgage payment. We have tuition coming up for my daughter's school. She attends a private school, and that is coming due soon. And then next week, my paychecks that I pay myself usually don't land in our personal checking account until around Wednesday. So I'm going to want to make sure that we can cover everything over here, and that includes our Jeep payment and our Jetta payment as well. So now that I see what's coming up and what we have to make sure that we budget for in the coming few days, I'm going to jump into YNAB and show you how I use it. Okay, now we are here looking at our budget for August in YNAB. So the biggest difference between YNAB and something like EveryDollar is that YNAB syncs with your bank account, and you're really only budgeting the money that you actually have available to spend at that particular time. So something like EveryDollar is great. It's similar to budgeting on paper, where you take the total amount that you plan to earn for the month, and then you subtract out your expenses and you zero it out, and that's all well and good for planning. However, while you're going through the month, you may end up with a situation where your cash flow doesn't work out and you haven't taken in a paycheck yet, but you've had a lot of bills come in and you're really low on your variable categories and things like that. So what I really love about YNAB is that you really are able to plan for situations like that by assigning the money that you actually have on hand to your next upcoming expenses. So what I like to do is I have a category right here at the top for fixed monthly expenses. And this is where I put all of our bills that are coming up, and I put them in chronological order so that it's really easy to just go down the line. You'll see that the earliest expenses here I've already budgeted for and they've already come out. That's what's shown here. This is the money that I am putting into that category or that bill. And then this is the activity or the spending that's done for that bill. So the bill has come out of our account. And then these zeros over here mean the category has zeroed out. So for example, Meadowbrook, which is our milk that we get delivered from a local farm, that is a check that I have written already. So I have budgeted that amount so that it's not in our working balance. If I didn't already account for that check being written, I would have more to work with here. But since the check is out, I know that we need to have that come out of our account soon. So I'm going to designate that money here, and then the balance goes down. This is our working balance, what's in the checking account that is not already designated towards an expense. So I have my $56 available to pay that check, ready to go. Our Home Depot card was due yesterday, but since I made some payments in late July, they're technically, which is actually a really great brand of chips, by the way, Late July, look them up. They're like really healthy Doritos. Just a tip. So I made some payments in late July for our Home Depot card. So the actual minimum payment due was $0. And I just left it because I know I'm going to be paying more towards the end of this month of August towards that account. So I just left it as is for now. Our first mortgage payment is going to be coming out. It actually should have come out today, but I don't see it in our checking account transactions. And I think that's because our online banking is supposed to be going through maintenance right now. I'm not sure if that's the reason, but anyway, I have the money there ready to pay that mortgage bill. So that's why you see a balance in green over here for the mortgage. Now, we just took a look at our calendar and saw that we have tuition coming up. So, by the way, just a tip, if you are using YNAB, what I like to do is not only name the bills here, but I put in parentheses the day of the month that it's coming out. So the 15th, the 17th, the 18th, and then also the amount due for the bill. So I don't have to constantly be referencing my planner. It's all in here. So tuition is coming due on the 15th, so I'm going to put $463.50 in there. And Jeep payment and Jetta payment will be coming out before I get paid again, so I'm going to want to fund those bills as well. The rest of these are not going to be coming out of the next paycheck, so I'm good to go for that. Now by the way, you'll see that we have a very low working balance here once those are paid out, but we should be good because the next paycheck will hit. So we also have some balances here, which will help take care of that. So for groceries and household, I should really do the same thing with variable expenses as I do up here. I should put in parentheses what I've designated in our paper budget for that category for the month. So I think I put $350 for gas. I designated $100 for baby. I had $350. I was able to transition her to a different formula now. So she's on a slightly less expensive one. It's still a very sensitive formula, but it's not the completely hypoallergenic one that she was on before. So that should help out with the baby category this month. For kids is basically what I had back to school for. That is 100. Okay, we have a home improvement, which I originally put 100 in that category, but obviously, as you can see, we had a lot more spending there, and I'll go over that in just a minute. Personal family spend was 100. School tax sinking funds, I kind of already have a note there. Okay, so most of that is in here. I created this category because I bought a couple of shirts at Target, but I actually had a gift card to cover that, so that is not really shown here because of the gift cards covering it. So let's move back up to groceries and household. I have the full amount for the month already budgeted in this category, so we do have a nice balance here. I don't think I'm going to be doing any major shopping again this week because I bought a lot last week. So if we do need to increase this working balance for anything, we can always take a little bit of money from there. Gas, I didn't budget the full amount yet, just $50. My husband got gas, and I need to get gas probably the next time I drive my car. So that's pretty good there. For home maintenance or home improvement, whatever you want to call it, we did have to purchase some screws for the deck that my husband's building, and that happened like probably the day that I filmed my August budget, so I did not really know to accommodate that. That was $169 and where did that go? I'm sorry, guys. That was $169. And then we did go ahead and purchase an area rug for our living room because of the baby crawling around and playing in the living room floor, and we only had bare hardwood. So we did make that purchase, but there are a couple of things coming up that I think is going to balance that out. I have a $100 check from someone, and I think we're going to be able to save in some other categories. So that is more than I planned on, but it is covered so far, technically. And let's see, the baby category, I had designated $150 so far, and I did about $100 in spending, so we've got $50 left over. For back to school, I did spend a little bit of money. I got a mask for Maya for school. She was using like an old one that was the first one that I bought back in like March or April or sometime back then. And so she needed one that actually was meant to fit kid. So I bought her that, but I paid for it in cash, so I didn't really track it on this budget. And I also got her a new backpack, but that was at Target, and that gift card kind of covered it. So I, on paper, don't have any spending in that category. So that is good news. And then down here, I have it just in this stuff I forgot to budget for category because YNAB does make this category for you. But I think I'm going to just change the name to the gym. Joe went to Walmart and I think purchased something maybe for the gym. I know he was doing some cleaning over there. So he probably used our household debit card, like our personal debit card, instead of his business debit card because they're identical. So he probably just used the wrong one on accident. And I'm just going to like transfer the amount from the business account and apply it to this category, and that will zero it out and we'll just pretend it never happened. That is the annoying thing about owning businesses. If you accidentally use a personal card for it, you kind of have a little bit of a mess to clean up, but it's not that big of a deal. Oh, I do have the back to school category down here. You know what? I'm going to, so maybe I didn't use the gift card balance to cover the back to school, but that is fine. I'm just gonna, normally I have a kids category for like things that come up, or Maya's dance class that she was taking last year. I don't think we're going to do it this year just because if it ends up being Zoom dance classes again, she really was not interested in doing class over Zoom, or dance class over Zoom, I should say. So I'm not going to waste money on that. If it's just going to happen again this year, we don't know. I think she'd be more interested in gymnastics next year anyway, so let's take a look at anything else that happened. Okay, so my husband did go and pick up a few clothing items from Marshall's, and we had some gift expenses. There was actually like one trip to Marshall's where he got a gift for his dad and his stepbrother, and then he bought some clothes for himself in the same transaction. So I just split it between these two. When I go back into my paper budget and follow up with that at the end of the month, this clothing category will kind of be under the personal/family fun category. I'll probably break things up a little bit better going forward, but for now, that's just how I'm going to do it. And that looks like everything. Oh, so I forgot to actually address this. I'm going to take that and say cover with the money to be budgeted, just because we do have things coming up, so I want to make sure that I'm not overspending until I get that money transferred from the business account to cover it. Once I transfer in the money from the business account into our personal account and we have that $25 up here, then I'm going to actually just like apply it to this, to the activity for this, and it's going to show up as a positive amount, and like the activity will show as 0. I might show you when I actually do it, or when I come back at the end of the month, because it doesn't make a lot of sense until you see it. But actually I can show you, because that's what I did with the Target gift card. If I took the actual amount that came out of our bank transaction, I wouldn't be able to track the money spent, if that makes sense. So on here I have a number of Target expenses, or baby expenses, I should say. Some of them are from Target. And I did have some returns as well. And then I just applied the gift card to this category, similarly to how I would apply an expense to the category. I just put the positive amount towards this category instead of the to be budgeted. So that just brought down the total amount for the activity, if that makes sense. I'm not super confident that I explained that well, but the bottom line is that it's all covered. So if you guys have any questions about how we use YNAB, or, if you're interested in trying it out for yourself, I actually have a referral link down in the description that you can check out. I do not make any money off of it, but if you do sign up after the 30-day free trial, I'll get a free month of YNAB. So if you do sign up, thank you so much, and I appreciate it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned a little bit about YNAB today. I certainly enjoyed filming this one, so I look forward to seeing you at the beginning of September as I go over wrapping up our August budget and seeing the results. And until next time, I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.